today we're going to be looking at 14 side hustle ideas that you can start today. Now, the awesome part about these side hustles is you don't need any extra equipment and you don't need any extra cash. I think right now is the perfect time to start an additional side hustle. With the economy going crazy and gas prices being so high, it's the perfect time to reel in an extra source of income. Now, I'm going to break each side hustle into 3 different sections. The first section, I'm just going to be talking about what the side hustle is. The second section, I'm going to be talking about how you can actually get started in this side hustle. And the third one is how much people are making from this side hustle right now. I think this is the best way to break it down and give the most value to you so you know exactly where to start and you know how much you can make with each hustle. It is said that yesterday is the best time to start a side hustle, and today is the second best day. So let's go! Now, the first side hustle I have for you is social media management. Now, I think this is a great option, especially if you're already savvy and familiar with these different social media platforms. And so you could do this social media management on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, YouTube, and even TikTok. A lot of companies nowadays are finding that it's a lot easier to market and advertise themselves on the social media platform. So what you can do is you can sneak in and be that middleman, because oftentimes companies don't have the time or resources or knowledge to manage their own social media accounts. Now, in order to get started with this, all you have to do is do one of 2 things. You can go door to door and ask businesses if they need help managing their social media. Oftentimes, this is probably the best option because you'll get that face-to-face interaction with them and you might be able to make some connections and get something rolling. But the second option is also looking online. A lot of companies place postings saying, please manage our social media accounts. And sometimes you can even find this not even online, but also on their social media accounts themselves. It'll say, hey, if you want to manage your social media accounts, please get in touch with us. Now, you can make a decent amount of money managing someone else's social media. It is said that you can make about $25 to $30 an hour, and it'll vary depending on how many hours you work. But if you can turn this into a full-time position and manage multiple companies' social media accounts, you can earn about $45,000 a year or more. Everyone has to eat, and so food delivery services are becoming more and more popular. And that leads us right on to the next side hustle, and that is delivering food. Now, there's 4 companies that make it super easy to deliver food, and they are Postmates, Uber Eats, Doordash, and Grubhub. I worked at a restaurant. In fact, I worked at 3 restaurants, and every single one of them had one of these delivery services. And the last place I worked at actually had all 4 of them. Now, when I first started working at these restaurants that had these delivery services, I didn't really expect people to actually use them. However, I was wrong. During the rushes, we would get orders through these delivery services within 15 minutes, back to back to back to back. Another great part about this side hustle is that it's very flexible. You can choose your hours and you can choose when you want to work. If you can just work weekends or just work a few hours a day, you can turn on the app and then it'll show you what deliveries you can run at that given moment. Now, the amount of money you can make from delivering food through one of these services will vary quite a bit, but you can average around $5 to $11 per delivery. And sometimes you can actually get tips from the people you deliver the food to.
And sometimes you can get free food.
No, I'm just kidding. Don't eat the food. I'm just joking. What I'm about to say next is completely free, and I would love if you all would do it, and that is to smash that like button for the algorithm. It really helps me keep making these videos. I hope you're getting value out of this so far, and if not, there's more value on the way. The next side hustle I have for you is editing videos. This is one I personally want to get into more. Now, pretty much every computer nowadays comes with video editing software built in that you don't have to pay any extra money for. My Mac has iMovie on it, and PCs have their own version of video editing software. Now, if you want to get more professional with video editing, what you can do is you can buy one of 3 softwares. I personally use Final Cut, but there's also Adobe Premiere Pro and DaVinci Resolve. And you can download templates on these softwares to make your video edits seamless and smooth and professional. Many YouTubers don't even edit their own videos. I personally edit all my videos, but a lot of them don't edit their videos and they outsource it to video editors on Fiverr. So if you want to get started onto this, Fiverr is probably the best place to go. All you have to do is quickly make an account, put in your information, and then you get to list yourself and list the price you're willing to edit videos at. Now, the amount of money you can get off of this side hustle will vary quite a bit depending on how long the videos you are editing are and how professional your edits are. On Fiverr right now, let's go look actually and see how much people are charging. So we're seeing right now people are charging anywhere from like $15, $10 all the way up to like hundreds of dollars, if not thousands of dollars for video edits. So it all depends on your skill and how good you are at video editing, but this is a great option to consider. All right, so the next side hustle I have for you is driving with Lyft and Uber. Now, if you haven't heard of these companies, basically what they are is they're taxi companies and you can be the driver. So all you have to do is go on your smartphone and download the app and sign up, and you can earn up to about $11 after Uber or Lyft take their cut per drive. Now, each drive doesn't have to be very long. If you're living in the city, most drives are just 5 to 10 minutes. Lyft and Uber make it super competitive because they offer insurance protection on your car, and they also offer very flexible schedules. So if you only have a few minutes during a certain time of your day that you want to go drive someone around and earn a little bit of extra cash, you can totally do that. The schedules are up to you to decide. The next side hustle I have for you is reselling thrifted items or items that you have laying around your house. So what this involves is either looking around your house and finding stuff that you don't need, or going to a thrift shop and finding undervalued items that you can buy there and then sell online for a profit. Now, if you want to get started in this, there's 3 different places that you can list your stuff for sale, and they are eBay, Facebook Marketplace, and Craigslist. I personally did this quite a bit with mountain bikes. What I did was I would buy a cheap mountain bike on one of these websites, and then I would sell it again after I made some repairs to it. And I was able to make about $500 per bike. So this is a very lucrative option, but again, it depends on what you sell, how much you can make. So oftentimes people are like, oh, I wish I could have a clean house, but it's too dirty and it takes too much time to clean. If only someone could clean my house for me. I had a friend who actually did this, and she cleaned about 1 or 2 houses a week, and she was able to earn about $100 per house that she cleaned. It can be kind of hard to find people who are willing to have you go into their house to clean it for them. And so this would be a harder side hustle to get started into, but if you live in a rich part of town, a lot of people have their houses cleaned for them, and it'll be a lot easier to get into this side hustle. All right, and the next side hustle I have for you is selling items on Etsy. Now, Etsy's not dead. It's been around for quite a while, but it still is very popular. And the site is basically just a site where people sell handmade goods. And there's all sorts of stuff on the website. In fact, let's go in and let's have a look. So Etsy is pretty much just like a jewelry and scarves and handmade goods website, but there's something in there for everyone. But I'm personally a Star Wars fan, so let's look up some Star Wars items that they have on Etsy. So a lot more handmade goods, as you can see here. They got Beskar steel and some cool stickers, it looks like. And so that's just another option that you might want to consider, is selling on Etsy. There's a lot of different things you can do, and it's handmade, so you can do it at your house. I had a friend who actually did Etsy for a little while, I think 2 years before I met her. And she was able to grow her Etsy business into a full-time business. And she made about $60,000 per year gross. That was before, you take into account the price it costs to make the items that she was selling. But it's a very profitable option if you can get into it and you can get your items on the top of the page. All right, the next side hustle we will have is music lessons. And so what you can do is you can market this skill by going around in your neighborhood and placing little cards saying music lessons for piano or music lessons for violin. And then you can eventually grow this up depending on how many people you have. You can charge about $25 per person that you come and teach them how to play the instrument. That's per session. And you can add it up, so if you have multiple clients, you can rotate them through and you can make a decent amount of money with this hustle. Now this is one you might have to be a little bit more proactive on and go around and ask people if you can clean their cars. But a lot of people don't have time to clean their cars, and their cars get really dirty and crusty, and you can be that guy who comes in and says, hey, I'll clean your car for you. Just give me $60 and it'll be done. A lot of people really do like that, and it gives them more time to focus on other things and not have to worry about cleaning their car. Mowing lawns is a side hustle that I had for quite a while, and I was able to grow it into a really profitable business. In fact, I was running about 7 lawns when I ended, and I was charging about $25 per lawn. And so it really does add up with this option. I made a whole nother video showing my top 3 side hustles, and I went more into depth on my lawn mowing business, so you can check out that video if you want to. This is especially great if you live in an area where there's a lot of elderly people, because oftentimes these people don't want to mow their lawns. Over time, word of mouth will help you grow this lawn mowing business, and you'll be able to get more and more clients without even having to advertise. That's what I personally did. I didn't advertise at all, but every year I got 2 or 3 more lawns. So the next side hustle is shoveling. Now, like the last one, it's probably best if you have elderly neighbors because they're not going to be willing to go and shovel their driveway as much as some younger people might be willing to. Now you can earn about $10 per driveway that you shovel, and you can chain it up so when it snows you can go hit multiple driveways within an hour, and you can compact all that time down and earn a lot of money per hour. Of course, there's not very many hours you can charge for this, but if you have 5 clients you can make $50 in an hour. Now, if you're good at baking, you might want to consider selling your baked goods. This is another great side hustle idea, and you don't just have to sell it to neighbors, you can also sell it to local restaurants. I worked at a restaurant, and we actually had all of our bread was made by someone in our neighborhood who would make the bread every morning and then go down to the local restaurant and deliver it and get paid. So this is great if you really enjoy baking and you want to make some money off of it. Now, how much you can make off this will vary depending on what you sell, but the person who was baking the bread for the restaurant I worked at was able to make about $2 per loaf, and she made like a lot of loaves. I think it was like 50 loaves every time she would deliver, because it was a pretty busy restaurant that I worked at. We were making French toast. So you can work this and make a decent amount of money in the process. Moving on, we got blogging. A lot of people think that blogging is dead, but I tend to disagree. There's a lot of people online who make lots of money off ad revenue. And by lots, I mean thousands of dollars off their ad revenue on their blogs. Of course, this is something that it's gonna take a little bit longer to build up. You will have to put in a lot of hours to build up a lot of blog posts, but eventually over time, a few years down the road, you can turn this into a very profitable side hustle. As long as you narrow down into a niche and then produce content for that specific niche. If you haven't found a side hustle that really works for you yet, I guarantee you will find one in this next section. And this next side hustle is working a part-time job. There are thousands of options for part-time jobs available, and all you have to do is do a quick internet search to find it. So let's do that right now. So let's go on Indeed really quick. All you have to do for this is go up to location, select your location, then go up to the job type and select part-time, and you can just scroll through all the different jobs that they have available. A lot of them are customer support positions. There's also some clerks, proofreaders, financial office specialists. So there's something for everyone here. Now, the amount you will earn from these jobs will vary greatly depending on what the job is and how many hours you're working per week, but it should say on the job position that you apply for about how much they make per hour, or if it's a salary position, it'll say how much you make per year. I hope you've gotten some value out of this video. As always, love, serve, and help the people around you. I am Stephen Ethan, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.